very good evening. You're watching News Tonight with me, Ashmit Kumar, and we have a lot in store for you. A lot of developments happening in the city. Amma is strongly places herself against the GST, that's the Goods and Services Tax, while also reaching out to the Prime Minister and non-Congress Chief Ministers. That's not all. The police in the state are upping the ante against land grabbers and sand mafia. We'll of course be getting updates on that as well. And meanwhile, the Assembly today was focused entirely on education. A lot of updates coming by way of the initiatives that have been launched. We'll be talking about and a lot more, especially all the action coming in from the world of sports, of course, with India finishing a whitewash. So again, our sports correspondent Natasha will be joining us to share the latest updates on that. Well, we'll get you all the updates and news in just a bit, but first a look at the top stories at this hour. Chief Minister Jayalalitha writes to the Prime Minister and non-Congress Chief Ministers saying that the common tax regime will hit the fiscal autonomy of states. The young brigade bunks college to be a part of Anna's movement, but how many of them know what the Gandhian crusader is fighting for?
A different premise saying that only people who know about the bill can support the bill.
The Tamil film industry jumps onto the Anna bandwagon to join the fast tomorrow. The police and the revenue officials launch a joint operation against the sand mining mafia, close on the heels of the Madras High Court directive. City police turn on the heat on land grabbing, 40 down and still counting. Cops encourage victims to register complaints. A boost for government schools' classrooms to have internet connections, over 14,000 vacancies for teachers to be filled. And on our Madras Day special, we take a look at Chennai's very own Collywood Boulevard. Well, time now for updates coming in from across the nation. Anna wants the Prime Minister's office, a Union Minister or Rahul Gandhi to mediate, not Maharashtra officials. The time has come to quit voluntarily and seek fresh mandate, says BJP leader LK Advani. The mandate of 2009 has been exhausted. Heavy fighting around Muammar Gaddafi's compound. The rebels claim that they've detained 3 of his sons. 29 MLAs loyal to Jagmohan Reddy resigned from the Andhra Pradesh Assembly in protest against inclusion of YSR in the CBI FIR. And India crashes and burns for the 4th time in a row, whitewash at Oval as England romps home to another victory. And Janmashtami celebrations today, Lady Govindas of Mumbai kick off the Dahi-Handi competitions. Well, first up with the Common Goods and Services Tax Bill on the anvil, Amma slammed the proposal, calling it sinister attempt to trap states in a bottomless pit. Now, with this appeal, she wrote to the Prime Minister and reached out to non-Congress Chief Ministers to oppose the bill. Now, she accused the centre of trying to bulldoze the constitutional powers of states by passing this bill. Now, Amma argued that with taxes coming under a single umbrella, the states' powers were being tested and that the states could be robbed of fiscal autonomy. She explained to the members of the House that the sales tax was the primary source of revenue and that any tampering with the tax structure would render the states vulnerable. Now, she also argued that the provisions of the GST or the Goods and Services Tax in its current form would result in the losses to Tamil Nadu's exchequer to the tune of nearly 5,000 crores. Now, taking the cue from the Madras High Court, which recently mooted a crackdown on sand mining, the Chennai Suburban Police has swung into action. The cops have tied up with the Revenue Department, and in the last 2 months, they have already seized 38 trucks used by the sand mining mafia. But will this drive be a knee-jerk reaction? Our crime correspondent Salim investigates.
Only 4,000 loads of sand is transported to the city every day. This is almost a quarter of the demand. Cashing in on the crunch, the sand mafia have been plundering riverbeds. It's big bucks for these gangs and it causes a huge revenue loss to the government.
கடந்த 2 மாதங்களில் சென்னை புறநகர் காவல் நிலைய எல்லைகளில் திருட்டுத்தனமாக மணல் கடத்திய 38 லாரிகள் பறிமுதல் செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளன. வருவாய்த்துறையினரால் ஒரு வண்டிக்கு 25,770 வீதம் மொத்தம் 9,80,000 ரூபாய் அபராதம் வசூலிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது.
Lorry owners say the sudden closure of sand quarries in the neighbouring districts after the elections has resulted in a price hike, a shortage of the building material and consequently slowing down of many construction projects in the city.
முக்கியமான காரணம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதிகமான மணல் குவாரிகளை தரக்கு சொல்லி கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கு அரசு கிட்ட. ஏன்னா எலெக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா காஞ்சிபுரம் மாவட்டத்தில் 6 மணல் குவாரி எங்கிட்டு இருந்து. ஆனால் இந்த அரசு வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்று 3 மாதம் ஆக போது 2-3 குவாரி திறந்தாங்க. அதில் 1 நிற்கும். அப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இன்னைக்கு காஞ்சிபுரம், திருவள்ளூர் 2 மாவட்டம் சேர்த்து ஒரே ஒரு மணல் குவாரி தான் இயங்குது.
PWD officials say they had to close the quarries following protests from villagers who feared groundwater depletion. Some quarries have been shut as they have reached their maximum mining capacity.
The state government is losing crores of rupees due to illegal sand mining by the sand mafia. While curbing the menace and maintaining a vigil in the vulnerable areas, the investigators say they are trying to unearth the modus operandi and identify the kingpins. In Chennai, with camera person Raja Singh Salim for NDTV Hindu.
Now, following the instructions from the state government to curb land grabbing incidents, the suburban police have strengthened their anti-land grabbing cell. Now, so far, the suburban police have received 147 petitions on cases pertaining to allegations of land grabbing, out of which 17 cases were registered after thorough investigations. Now, 40 people have been arrested on charges of land grabbing. The police say that they have restored 14 acres of land and handed it over to rightful owners. Now, cops have urged the victims to come forward and lodge complaints in order to get back their lost land.
நில அபகரிப்பு சம்பந்தமாக 21 வழக்குகள் பதிவு செய்யப்பட்டு 13.79 ஏக்கர் நிலம் பரப்புள்ள நிலம் மீட்கப்பட்டு உரியவர்களுக்கு ஒப்படைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இதனுடைய மதிப்பு 21,44,00,000.
Now, the government was accused of putting school students in a crossfire over the legal wrangling with the DMK on uniform syllabus. Today's announcement in the assembly would probably undo some of that possible damage. Amma's strong focus was on education was evident in a virtual bonanza for students, smart classrooms, internet connections in government schools and much more. Peer Mohammed has this report.
What's the image of a typical government school that you would conjure up? Dilapidated buildings, no teachers and broken benches? That's set to change. Smart classrooms will be set up at 5 government schools at a cost of 1.25 crore rupees. It's a first step towards modernizing school education. What's more, all the government primary and middle schools in Panchayat unions will get internet connections, and children with special needs will have special educators. These are just few announcements emanating from Amma's education-friendly budget, which allocated over 13,000 crores for school education.
கற்றல் கற்பித்தல் மிக சிறப்பாக அமையும். வகுப்பறை முழுவதும் கணினி முறையில் பயன்பெறும். எடுத்துக்காட்டாக இதயம் பற்றிய பாடம் நடத்தும் போது இதயத்தின் செயல்பாடு உண்மையாக ஒளி அமைப்பில் வகுப்பின் வெண்திரையில் தோன்றும். இதன் மூலம் கற்றல் கற்பித்தல் நிகழும்போது முழுமையான கற்றல் நிகழும். பார்த்தல் கேட்டல் திறன் மூலம் கற்றவை நீண்ட நாட்கள் மாணவர் மனதில் நிற்கும். முதல் கட்டமாக 5 அரசு பள்ளிகளில் ரூபாய் 1.25 கோடி மதிப்பில் ஸ்மார்ட் வகுப்புகள் துவங்கப்படும்.
On the higher education front, the AIADMK regime has restored the unitary status of the Anna University. The 4 branches created for Anna University during the previous DMK regime will be merged with the parent university. This was also a hint of action against the former DMK higher education minister for alleged irregularities.
பல்வேறு ஒப்பந்தங்கள் செய்து கொண்டு கல்வி ஆராய்ச்சி பணிகளில் புகழ் பெற்றிருந்தது. அதனால் தரம் காக்கப்பட்டது. தொழில்நுட்ப பொறியியல் கல்லூரியில் பயிலுவோர் எண்ணிக்கையும் வேலைவாய்ப்பை பெறுவோர் எண்ணிக்கையும் பெருகியது. அண்ணா பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் பயிலுகிற மாணவர்களின் எண்ணிக்கை ஏராளம். இவ்வாறு இருந்த ஒருங்கிணைக்கப்பட்ட பல்கலைக்கழகத்தை, பாரம்பரியமிக்க பல்கலைக்கழகத்தை சீரழித்த அரசுதான் மைனாரிட்டி திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக அரசு என்பதை இங்கே நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
The announcement that students need not waste an entire academic year if they fail in some subjects is a big relief for academically weak students. The government has said they can rewrite public exams in June or July and join further courses the same academic year. And don't forget what's coming soon. Free laptops for 9.12 lakh students this year. In Chennai with Peer Mohammed, Natasha Doraiswamy for NDTV Hindu.
And while keeping pace with her assurances of reining in culprits and correcting the law and order situation in the state, Amma today ramped up the police infrastructure. The Chief Minister inaugurated 8 all-women police stations. These stations will be constructed at a cost of 1.62 crores. Now, they will be set up in Kanchipuram, Kadalur, Tanjavur, Sivagangai, Theni, Coimbatore and Ramanathapuram districts. Now, outside of this initiative, 21 new buildings have been sanctioned for existing police stations. Meanwhile, 480 police residential quarters and 67 residential quarters for prison department staff also received the government's nod.
தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள பெண்கள் பொதுவாக காவல் நிலையத்திற்கு செல்லவே அச்சப்படுவார்கள். தமிழகத்து மகளிர் எந்த விதமான அச்ச உணர்வும் இன்றி தயக்கமும் இன்றி காவல் நிலையங்களுக்கு சென்று தங்களுக்குள்ள குறைகளை அங்கே எடுத்து கூறி அவற்றிற்கு நிவாரணம் தேட வேண்டும், பரிகாரம் தேட வேண்டும் என்பதற்காகவே முதலில் அனைத்து மகளிர் காவல் நிலையத்தை 1992 ஆண்டு நான் தொடங்கி வைத்தேன். அதன் பின்னர் தமிழகம் எங்கும் பல அனைத்து மகளிர் காவல் நிலையங்கள் துவக்கப்பட்டு நல்ல முறையில் செயலாற்றி வருகின்றன. இன்றைய தினம் 8 புதிய அனைத்து மகளிர் காவல் நிலையங்களை அவற்றிற்கான கட்டடங்களை திறந்து வைத்ததில் நான் உள்ளபடியே மற்றற்ற மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன்.
Well, meanwhile, the support for Anna is only growing in momentum in Chennai, with students and now film stars joining hands against corruption. We'll bring you more updates on that on the other side.